share his thoughts on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Fengku. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon. I'm very delighted to be here. Upon getting the letter of invitation from Prof. Ahmad Kamil to us, I think I'm more than happy to share our Sukuk stories. I call it Sukuk stories because it's meant to be, very dear to us, full of challenges, yet very interesting in the name of developing Islamic finance. Perhaps if I can guide you, I'll be off the cuff today. I brought with me 2 brochures. Perhaps if you haven't got, perhaps you can collect a copy at the entrance. One is on Islamic finance, initiatives and linkages that we have at Khazanah. Perhaps I can spend about 10-15 minutes on that, going through with you. The second is a case study of prominent Sukuk issuances. I think Prof. Fengku would have seen this. I can share with you. Well, Prof. Fengku sits in one of the Sharia committee that we have in our issuances. And last December, we shared our stories with those involved in our journey. Interesting session, I would say. We called all the bankers, all the councils, all the trustees, the scholars to join us and do a reflection of what we have done in Khazanah, and we plan to write these stories in the coffee table book, hopefully, hopefully 12 months from now. It's been work in progress, and hopefully we can produce that for the benefit of everyone and future generations, just to share how we have gone through the challenges, the stories that we have. Coming back to our session today, perhaps for the benefit of everyone, let me share with you some background of Khazanah first. Then we can go on to our stories. Khazanah, as we all know, is the investment arm of the government. It's meant to undertake some strategic investments on behalf of the government. The mandate is big. If you follow the journey of Khazanah, it was established in 1993. The role stayed on as a custodian for the government right until 2004. Only in 2004, specifically in June, that's when the new mandate came to us. The new mandate said Khazanah is to invest in the new sectors and new geographies. That's one of the mandates. We have 4 big mandates. That's one big mandate we have. To invest in new sectors, new geographies. That's why you notice that soon after that, as early as 2005, we started to have presence in Indonesia, Singapore, and then we went to China, we went to India, we went to Middle East, and most recently we went to Turkey. Another big mandate that we have is to do GLC transformation. The government said, now Khazanah has to transform the GLCs. The GLCs that we have, the likes of Telecom, Axiata, CIMB, MAHB, and a few others, they are to be run professionally, profitably, efficiently. So we have started the journey of transformation in 2005. That's when we started to introduce KPIs to the CEOs. And CEOs and senior management would have to be on contract basis. If they don't perform, then, contracts will not be renewed. That sort of arrangement. Alhamdulillah, on that front, we have seen the transformation of GLCs. It's important for us to do that because I was talking to Haji Ismail just now. In Khazanah, we don't have annual infusion of capital from the government. We don't have that. If you talk about any other government investment arms, like EPF, for example, EPF every month they collect our money, our charuman, every month close to 2 billion, and they invest, and the mandate is to invest this money and make some returns. Petronas, they get money from the ground. Co-op, kumpulan wang amanah pension, they get money from the government, annual allocation to cater for the pensioners. But for us, we don't have any allocation from the government, except for in 2004 when they wanted us to run commercially. That's when they transferred shares of companies in telecom, in Malaysia Airport, in GLCs to us. So those shares only we have. I must say that because of that, we are more disciplined in our investments, because we have no money. Just like once you have no money, then you have to be more disciplined. You cannot simply spend money. So we have to work hard. We told our GLCs, please make sure you deliver dividends to us, because from dividends we can reinvest. That's one avenue. And then coming back to that, another avenue that we have is to go to capital markets. We go to the capital markets to do financing. Hence the Sukuk stories to come about that I'll share with you. Again, on that background, perhaps I can share with you how our role as a catalyst of Islamic finance. In the brochure, we mention our role as investor, for example. We can invest in Sukuk. Our role as issuer, our role as taking investments in the space of real economy. So we do all that. But I understand that what we want to discuss today is our role as an issuer of Sukuk. So because of that, we have to be very creative in our ways of financing. Hence the creation of structure for exchangeable Sukuk. We have to be able to generate funds to reinvest. Before I start on Sukuk stories itself, the bottom part of the brochures will highlight to you the general progress of Islamic finance in Malaysia. Perhaps some background for students will be helpful. How Malaysian government has been very supportive in terms of having Islamic Banking Act in 83, and then SC has played their role very well. Bursa has played their role very well. Banegara, MIFC. I think because of the collective collaboration among all the entities in Malaysia, that's why Malaysia or Kuala Lumpur is able to become a center of Islamic finance. And in a small way, Khazanah wants to play that role in helping. So then I will turn to my second brochure about Sukuk stories. As I said, the stories are dear to us. I joined Khazanah in 2005 with the hope of doing fundraising for Khazanah. As a background, not captured in my CV, but I was in Putrajaya before. Putrajaya, I was involved heavily in the funding of the government buildings. We issued Sukuk to build the government buildings under Ijarah structure. When I came to Khazanah, my boss Tansi Azman said, Izani, we don't have money to invest, so we have to be creative of funding capital, because we have no regular infusion with the government. So we have to tap capital markets. So we have excess holdings in many companies. For example, telecom at that time, our shareholding in telecom is above 60%. And for a company, you don't have that much, you don't need to keep that much holding to control. You need perhaps 30% only to control. You know, once you become the single largest shareholder, that's it. I mean, you can control, you can put the management, you can put the CEOs. So what we did from 2004 to 2005, as I said earlier on, we have to transform these companies. And out of transformation, we have to create values in these companies. You know, the companies have to make profits. The share price has to go up. You know, investors will need to like the stocks. So we did as such to our companies, Telecom, you know, Plus at that time, Tenaga. So the first story that I will tell you is our Telecom Axiata Sukuk, that is in 2006. I came in 2005. Immediately after I went in, we were busy structuring it. As you may have heard, the sukuk that we had, the exchangeable sukuk, is never done elsewhere in the world. It's world first exchangeable sukuk. Which means Khazanah will issue certificates to sukuk holders. The underlying is the telecom shares. So I don't know how much you know about the structure, but perhaps briefly I can tell you. If you need further info, you know, you can approach me or you can email me later on. So what it means is that at the point of issuance, we have certain target price for the underlying. Let's say at the launch in 2006, the share price of Telecom was 3 ringgit 70, for example. I think the details in there. So what it means is that at the point of exchange, 5 years later, if the share price hits 4 ringgit 50, you get the shares. Otherwise, if they don't hit the price, I'll pay you